Yo, it's boy Marcus from Western Need back with another video. Today we're gonna be doing our most underrated guns in COD Mobile right now, and I'll just kind of be covering my thoughts on some of these guns and why I think you should use them. Are they good? Are they bad? They may have gotten buffed. I've seen videos of people talking about them, saying, "Hey, this gun's really good now," and things like that. I want to start this off before I start rattling off these guns and how I've used them. Nothing is really good on this list. Like, this list that I'm about to rattle off of these guns, like, they're nothing compared to the USS-9 or the Odin or these guns that are just insanely broken and just killing 2 shots or 3 shots. So they're not like that. They're in that ballpark for a couple of these, but it's just not the same thing. I feel like you'll understand when I start talking about them. So, number one, the RAL, or the Rail, your mom, RAL, your mom, Rail, your mom, whatever. This LMG, it shoots super slow, but it got a buff to where it kind of can 2-shot now. And it's just so slow that it's harder to use, right? It's kind of like the Odin of the LMG class now is what it's essentially trying to be. And that's what it was like on console. So, I don't really think this gun's very good. It's just super strong and harder to use. Does it fit into this meta? Not really. I really think it's a USS-9. Like, if you were playing against all, I don't know, top 100 players, right? If they were all in a lobby, they'd probably all be using that gun. Maybe like a DRH mixed in there. Or if one of them is just really good with some other gun, like MG42, like myself. You know, you might see other guns like that. But really, it's just everything's kind of competing with the USS-9. So this thing doesn't really do that, but it is solid and it got a buff, so it is viable. It's just not what you might want to use. Number two, another LMG. I'm going with the PKM. I've been using this a lot because I'm trying to get a diamond, and it's actually not that bad. It's also very strong, but it's more of a consistent 3-shot kill with the very occasional 4-shot, depending on where you hit your shots. It's got the same pretty much pros as the RAL, right? They're very similar in that they're both slower firing, super strong LMGs. They have pretty good bullet penetration, so you can shoot through walls real easy and have that good effect of killing people through walls. That being said, they both kind of serve the same purpose in that, like, you're kind of just pre-aiming. You're not really going to be aggressive with these, generally speaking, unless you're just one of those people that's always aggressive with every gun you use, in which case you could do that with these, but they aim down sight super slow, and you're going to have to pretty much build for that because it's just that slow, especially the RAL. It's insanely slow, probably the slowest ADS in the game. Next up, we'll talk about the HBR A3, which I was going to use in this video, but I don't know. It's not as good as people are saying it is. I know it got some buffs and some attachment changes and things like that. It's really not all that. I am a big HBR guy, so when I heard that it was actually good, saw videos about it, I was like, man, I would love to get a shot. And I don't think it's very good at all. Personally, I definitely think it's one of the lesser known guns. Like, of all these guns I'm about to name, I feel like it's one of the worst in terms of like the buffs it got and it being like underrated and people saying it's actually good. I don't really feel the same way. I feel like it's pretty medium. Like, it's just a mid-pack AR. There's 30 ARs in the game. I feel like it's the 15th best AR. That's just how I feel. I don't think it's actually that great. I would rather use the LCAR-9 than it. That being said, let's talk about the M13, which you're seeing me using in this video. This build that I had on it, and you'll see it at the end of the video, I don't think it's very good. And I couldn't remember what I used on it. I think this was actually the build that I would use in BR. And I didn't realize that until I was looking at the attachments. Like, maybe this is what I used in BR. So it's not necessarily ideal for multiplayer. It's very slow. It's a lot faster the way I should have built it, with the shorter barrels that come with the suppressor and then the different stock. So this gun could have been a lot better for this gameplay, especially on a map like Summit, where it's a lot more close quarters gunfights and things like that. But I do think the M13 actually does feel good. I've used it in one game after this gameplay, and it did feel better. So I would suggest you give it a shot, because it's actually one of the more underrated guns in the game right now. Like, outside of your top, I would say 15 guns. You know what I mean? Like, I just made that video a couple days ago talking about the top 10 guns in COD Mobile. And I had a couple honorable mentions in there and the guns that I didn't include. Outside of those, I feel like the M13 is like, man, you can come back to this thing. It's got a little buff. It's a little bit better now, and you can give it a shot. Number 5, we're going with the GKS. I definitely feel like the GKS for the SMG class is solid, man. I really do enjoy using it, and it's got 3-shot potential. It's got great strafe speed. It's got great base iron sights. It's easy to use. I really feel like the GKS is slept on in terms of like how good it actually is in COD Mobile right now, and I think people will come to understand like actually how good it is once some of these other guns get nerfed. That being said, if nothing gets nerfed and this time to kill stays what it is, then you're not really going to understand how good the GKS actually is, because there'll always be a gun that's better. 6, we're going with the PP19 Bison, or the Bison, or the PP, the big PP, whatever you want to call it. This is just probably one of the most consistent guns in all of CODM over the life cycle of this game. It's really just always been like right there. It's been solid. You can use it. Great for your respawns with that huge base magazine, and just an easy gun to use. Manageable recoil, attachments are easy to understand, great iron sights. It's just an overall solid gun every time without fail, and that's what makes the PP19 so good. Next up, we're going to talk about the CBR4. This got a buff too, and I think it's actually solid, but it just, once again, it's not going to fit into the meta. This is really just an off meta gun essentially. When I say underrated, I guess that's really what I'm saying, is that all of these are off the meta. You know what I mean? None of these are actually going to be the best weapons in their class right now. They're either the second best, or third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th, whatever it might be. CBR is no different. Big base magazine, and some of the buffs that it got allow you to put on the old attachments that you used to put on it back when it was godlike, and then run it like that, because I believe it was the bullet spread accuracy that got touched up. So that actually makes some of those other grips more useful. Next up, we'll talk about the Koshka sniper rifle. I think everybody knows that the Tundra is the best sniper in COD Mobile. If you don't know that, you probably haven't been playing COD Mobile. I've seen a lot more Koshkas, and I think that's because of the legendary that came out and so many people got it. The Koshka is actually really good, and I've been a fan of the Koshka for a long time. Black Ops 4 sniper rifle. But I don't think that it's really that good compared to the Tundra. I think the Tundra is just miles ahead of all the sniper rifles right now, and that's just the way it is. You also got the Locust. I see a lot of people using the Locust as, one of the go-to, probably fan favorite sniper rifles in the game, generally speaking. And I've never been a big Locust guy myself, but I do see a ton of people running it, and the aim down sight speed of it really helps the viability of the gun overall. Another, probably the last one we're kind of going to discuss, is the XM4. I have the Mythic, so I have the ability to save that attachment for the red dot and just use the Mythic iron sights. And I still believe this gun is like right outside. This is probably the best gun on this list when I'm looking at it. But I do think it's right outside the meta. It's not a top 10 gun. I'd probably say maybe 15. Maybe like the 15th best gun in the game is the XM4. And I really love the gun. I have the Mythic skin. Obviously, I love it. But I do think it's just slightly behind all those other guns that I did in the previous video. And I think it needs one more buff to kind of make it, hey, now the XM4 is good. You know what I mean? So that's my thoughts on some of the most underrated guns in COD Mobile. If you have an underrated gun in COD Mobile, comment down below. Maybe drop a loadout for people who are interested in trying something different. Big part of why I see YouTubers like making these videos on these types of weapon changes is so that not everybody's spamming the same gun. Because, I mean, nobody really wants to just play against the USS-9 over and over and over again in a game with 130 guns. So it's kind of insane that that's just the way that it is, but whatever. So yeah, drop your underrated CODM guns and allow some people to check out some stuff that you've been working on. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. I'm out of here. Peace.